Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Casillejos, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
And today we're going to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
We're going to daydream. We're going to sit back and think about something that will happen one day.
Yes.
It hasn't yet, but it will happen one day.
I think so. I would like so. I said so.
Taylor Swift will perform at the Super Bowl halftime show sometime. Amy, are we still laughing over so-so?
I'm sorry. We were just talking about saying so.
We were, before the
I'm
podcast,
sorry.
we were talking about how we each say so too much.
As a transition. I'm a little tired.
Okay, so
See?
I ruined the word era for us because is it error? Is it era? And now everybody second guesses it. Are y'all going to make us self-conscious about so now?
I
Yeah.
think so. Oh, no. You just said it. It's just the only way that we know how to transition topics. We're like, so have you?
That's right.
Like, you know what I mean?
What we're getting into today is we are putting together our dream set list for a Taylor Swift halftime performance. And now, we did set some ground rules.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Will we all stick to them? We'll see.
Wait, what were the ground rules?
5 songs.
I didn't stick to that.
That's fine. I'm not going to get that
I
upset.
have 5.5.
It was very difficult.
I have 5. I have 6.5. I have 5.5.
That's fine. It's fine. Whatever. It's very difficult, but we couldn't sit here and do the 12 songs that we would want. That would take a very long time.
I know.
Well, Nick, actually, I just rewrote Lacey's perfect concert once again.
That would be a great halftime set.
That
Yeah,
would. That
yeah,
would.
yeah.
That would be.
For 3 days.
So why hasn't it happened yet? We've
Great
had
question.
tons of superstars do it, but why not Taylor Swift? Arguably the biggest star in the world, one of.
Mhm.
So why hasn't she done it? You know, a lot of people are assuming that it's because of her contract with Coca-Cola.
Mhm.
It is the Pepsi halftime show. Now, her contract with Coke is very vague. Nobody knows what the terms are.
Right.
In 2013, she signed what they called then a long-term deal. There was not a time limit specified. So I'm going to assume long-term deal means 10 years.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
So that means Taylor Swift could be eligible to perform at next year's Super Bowl 2023.
We obviously, as fans, would love that. But do we think Taylor would do it?
Here's my theory. I think she will do a Super Bowl, and then that will be her final little bow on her career before she takes a break to start a family.
Really?
I think that's the nice spot to end it, or to not end it, but to pause, time out. Let's go get married, have some kids.
Interesting.
That's my thought.
Okay.
So if it were to take place, it'd be next year in Arizona, which is also where Ronan and his family are from. It's like right in their hometown.
Man, you did research.
So we'll see. We'll see if that's what happens. I don't know.
That's interesting. I
Do you guys think she would or she will do Super Bowl?
would love to see it because I'm a huge fan of hers and I'll take any live performance. I just don't think that she would, if I'm being honest.
It's a lot of scrutiny. You're
It's
opening
a
yourself
lot
up to
of
being picked
criticism.
apart because
It is a lot of criticism. And I know a lot of artists do it because following the Super Bowl, obviously, like your stream numbers skyrocket and your record sales and stuff like that. But Taylor doesn't need that.
no.
She's already like the most streamed artist on almost every platform daily.
And
you
I mean,
know?
how common is it to hear, man, that show was great, or that halftime show was great? I feel like I hear that halftime show sucked. I feel like that's what I always hear
You can't
after a
please
Super
everybody.
Bowl. Yeah.
You can't
no.
please everybody, and everybody loves to be a critic, especially with something like the halftime show.
And if it's Taylor, who gets a lot of hate already going into the NFL male-dominated fan base.
I don't know. Like, I don't think she would put herself in that. I would love to see her, obviously, but I just don't. I feel like she wouldn't put herself in that position for some reason.
We have had women do it before. Katy Perry, her Super Bowl halftime show, I believe, was in 2015. It's the most watched moment in U.S. television history. It was like 115 million people watched Katy Perry's 15-20-minute set.
And J-Lo and Shakira were
J-Lo,
great.
Shakira, Madonna has done it.
Lady
Shania
Gaga.
Twain has done it. Yes, Lady Gaga.
But I'm with you, Anna. I don't think she would set herself up for that, especially to end her career. Because how stressful is that to have to plan it out and to choreograph and come up with all this and then sit back and listen to people hate on you no matter what.
Though I wonder like if because I liked how this year they had 5 artists instead of 1. I did kind of, I mean, yes and no. I liked it because it kind of just felt like a little like melody montage type thing. But then each individual performance felt really short. So it's kind of like, which do you prefer? But imagine if they did like 5 female performers from like the 2010s. Like that would be super cool. And if she was like a part of something like that would be really, really cool. If it was like her, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga.
People that have already done it.
J-Lo and Shakira. And Beyonce.
Yes, Beyonce's done it too
Yeah,
a couple times, and it has been great. So we're going to go through and list our songs that we think or that we would like to see Taylor do in her Super Bowl halftime performance. So who wants to go first? Amy? I know you love going first. I'm just kidding.
You want to go last?
No, Amy likes to be in the middle.
Sandwich me.
I know.
I'll go first.
We probably have some that overlap.
I bet we have
right?
some overlapping
Yeah.
songs.
Okay.
Particularly one, I think, is going to be overlapped.
Well, there's the obvious ones.
Yeah.
There are some obvious ones, but obvious ones are going to have to be in a Super Bowl halftime show, I would think.
Oh, okay.
No, they don't. This is your halftime show, Amy.
I know.
You can do whatever you want.
All of folklore. Just kidding.
Yeah, Amy's is all Mad Woman and all the slowest songs that Taylor has. So
I was feeling very Mad Woman during the Super Bowl this year because I was hanging out with my girlfriends and they like sports and I don't. So they're watching the game and sitting there yelling at the TV and I'm like, ugh, somebody pay attention to me. Like I'm sitting over here. I'm so bored. I ended up editing while I was there because I was like, literally, I can't pay attention. I didn't watch commercials. I didn't do anything. I just sat over there and sulked. And I was like griping on this group text with somebody about, oh my God, I'm so bored over here. And my girlfriend was like, literally, Lacey, I'm right here. And I'm like, well, but you're not paying any attention to me. So I don't know what to do in this situation. I'm just going to sit here and work and pout. Don't worry about me.
I did have to bite my tongue and leave the room at one point watching the Super Bowl, and I feel like only you guys would understand.
It was the Jake commercial, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a Super Bowl watch party with a couple people that I don't know. Like I was there meeting them for the very first time, and you know, sometimes people don't know that you have a podcast about Taylor Swift, and that's okay. But yeah, there was a commercial came on with Jake Gyllenhaal, and somebody had said something like, "Oh my God, Jake Gyllenhaal looks like he's aging really well. Like he's like so hot or whatever." And I bit my tongue, didn't say anything. And then somebody else was like, didn't Taylor Swift like write a song about him? And then somebody else was like, well, Taylor Swift writes songs about everybody. And I was like, you know what? There's a lot of things I could say right now. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of dishes I could break. There's a lot of things I could do. But I bit my tongue and I was like, I want to just walk away right now. I don't know these people. I'm never going to see these people ever again in my entire life. I was just like, oh my God. I don't know. My mind exploded.
That's when you airdrop them. 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast.
That would have been funny.
Yes.
That would have been
you
funny.
just walk by, oops, I spilt the queso, and it falls on their shoes.
Yeah, that would have been really
Would have been
good.
great.
Where are you guys when I need you?
So I'm going to go first. This is my perfect Taylor Swift Super Bowl set list. She has 5 performances in here. Of course, she's going to open it. It's all dark. It has to be ready for it. That's how you have to open a Super Bowl halftime show. And then it's going to immediately go in to blank space. It's going to be kind of a little medley. They're going to jam. It's just going to kind of be like the first part of Reputation, like 30 seconds to get the ball rolling. Then we're going to go right into a super recognizable song that people love. It's going to get bright. It's going to be colorful. And then she's going to go right into Bad Blood with special guest Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh, I love that.
Who just performed at this past week's Super Bowl.
He was so good.
He was great.
He was fantastic.
People would love it. And then we're going to go into another medley where this is the slow part because you're going to do high energy, high energy. Middle's going to be slow.
Yeah.
That's when we're going to perform Lover
Okay.
and Love Story and Delicate. Those are all somehow going to be within 2 minutes. 3
Okay,
minutes.
so the guy who asked us if we followed the rules, I think he's up at song number 13
I'm
right
at
now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you.
I think melodies are allowed.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
medleys.
Medleys?
Oh,
Medleys.
no.
Melodies are also allowed.
Oh, no.
Then we have to pick up the energy again because we just finished Lover. It was nice. It was very pretty. She probably did some light show with bracelets. But now we're going to get into high energy, the rock version of We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together.
Love it.
Fantastic.
That we've seen on tour, that we see all over the
love.
TikTok. I think I see it 7 times a day on TikTok.
And
fan
I watch
accounts.
it every single time.
Every single time.
Every single time.
And then we are going to close out Taylor Swift's iconic Super Bowl performance with the first ever, possibly maybe last time, that we will ever see a live performance of Cruel Summer. It's going to be loud. It's going to be bright. It's going to be incredible. Fade to black. Thank you for watching the Pepsi halftime show.
Nick,
Thank
question.
you. Yes.
Super Bowl's in February.
Yes, it is.
And she's just going to pull Cruel Summer out of there.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. I mean, I was just asking.
Sure.
Okay. I support
Yeah.
it. I love that song, and I don't love sports, so I really don't care. I can listen to that song all
Yes,
the time.
it's high energy. It's wonderful. It's lovely. You're going to be in Arizona where it's hot. It's going to be 100 degrees in February when
Yeah.
they're doing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Nick,
That's my set list.
my set list is very similar to yours.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I should make some game time changes so they're not identical.
Mhm.
Can I go next?
Sure.
Just since they're so similar. I also thought that the obvious, you would start with Ready For It.
It's a great opener.
Especially, I mean,
Sets
that
the tone.
was the opener on the Reputation tour.
Yeah.
And it was just so, like, it is such a hype song. And it was a song that she used in the football commercial.
Yeah, I think they've been used in a lot of football, like NFL ads and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and so it just makes sense. It's like hype, and that's when like the stage just like opens.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hear the music before you see her.
You do lots of flashing lights.
Yes.
It is definitely a pump it up anthem.
Yes. And then after that, I was thinking she'll go into Bad Blood. Not with Kendrick, though.
Mm.
This is specifically the Bad Blood mashup with Should Have Said No that we
Ooh,
also
okay,
saw on the
cool.
Reputation tour. Like, you know, like Bad Blood should have said no, because then it's kind of like also an ode to like her, you know, debut era, like her OG fans. And that's when like I'm going crazy, I'm losing my mind. And then since we're already in that vibe and like the OG kind of vibe, then she'll go into a really dramatic, intense performance of Haunted. Because
Wow.
I would love that. And I think it'd be great because it would be a song that she would perform so well, so over the top, and it would be new to a lot of people. And a lot of people would be like, whoa, I didn't realize that this is my favorite song I've ever heard in my entire life. Let me go download it right now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she
Smart.
needs to perform like the popular songs, but also the ones that we know just didn't get the recognition they deserved.
Yes.
For me, that is Haunted. And then she goes into one of my favorite live performances of all time, obviously, Don't Blame Me.
Oh, so good.
Wow, okay.
Yes, a lot of Reputation vibes mixed in with a little Speak Now, you know what I mean? But yeah, Don't Blame Me, you know, kind of we've seen it on the Reputation movie, the oh, Lord, take me, my love, is my baby, I've been using
For the rest of my life.
Yeah, so it would
So
be
much tude.
It would be, yes, a lot of that, like a lot of just like falling to the ground, and you see like smoke come out, and
Very dramatic.
everybody's in church, you know, and there's like a ton of dancers, and it's like super, super cool. And also another moment where people are like, whoa, I didn't realize that Taylor Swift is my favorite artist of all time, and she is the absolute best. Give her all the Grammys, especially for Red. And then I also, Nick, had her closing with Cruel Summer.
Okay. Well, you know,
Because-
it is going down in February, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd want to play that song.
But I was thinking, you know, because we don't have a live performance of Cruel Summer yet, and it would be pretty awesome to see. And I think it would just prove that it should have been released as a single.
Right.
And everybody would once again be like, oh my God, Taylor Swift is my favorite artist of all time. I need to go listen to 13 a Taylor Swift fan podcast with new episodes every Tuesday. You know, so that's what I have for my
That'd be great.
the
Be a good
halftime
set.
show.
Love
Yes.
it.
It's a little bit of hits with a little bit of fan faves.
Absolutely. Love it. Amy.
So I go next. All
would
right.
you like to be the third one, or like in
yeah,
the middle?
Yeah. So I tried not to do the obvious ones because I didn't want our list to be the same. So I chose songs where the lyrics are kind of football-y
Okay.
themed.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
So it's not necessarily my favorite idea that I would see her perform at the Super Bowl.
You're going with
halftime
the
show.
theme, though.
Yeah,
Right. Okay, so she's going to open with I Knew You Were Trouble.
that's great.
Great.
Now I'm laying on the cold, hard grounds like tackling or sacked or something, right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to go into Gold Rush and Everybody Wants You, which is the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that
Wow.
trophy.
Oh, I can also just like visualize like gold sparklers.
Uh-huh.
And the dancers are wearing black and gold.
Love it.
And then we need to slow it down for the middle, and I chose "This Is What You Came For," but a stripped down version.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the lyrics of "Lightning strikes every time she moves," which is like a really great play, right?
And I
She's,
love
like,
that
moving really
because-
fast and stuff.
And I love that so much because, you know, like the average person would be like, isn't this like a Calvin Harris song? But then we'd be like, but Taylor Swift wrote it.
Yeah.
Niels Solsborg wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Out of the Woods, we're going to pick up the energy and do that with the lyrics. Are we in the clear yet? Because, I don't know.
That's football related.
Right.
Somehow.
I mean, well, you've gotten through the first half. And is it over?
Okay.
Is
yeah,
it
yeah.
over?
There you
No,
go.
we're at halftime. So
Is it kinda
we're
like-
not in the clear yet.
Is it like she performed it on the 1989 World Tour? That's also a performance
Yeah, that
that
was
comes
really
up on my
good.
TikTok
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
every day.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to end it with The Man. With the lyrics,
Ooh.
I'd be a fearless leader, the alpha type, which is like MVP and how the public perceives power and all that. And
Yes.
really, it's a different message, but Taylor's making her
That'd be
point.
a great message to perform at a male-dominated event.
Right.
That'd be
Exactly.
great.
Yeah.
Right.
What
Yeah.
a nice middle finger.
There you go.
I love it.
Thank you.
I need to see it. I need to see it come to life.
Lacey,
That was
you
beautiful,
are up.
Amy.
Thanks.
I really respect that. I kind of painted a different picture. I don't do sports, so my show is very tailored to me. Okay. We're at the O2 in London. That's where she's performing because I just really want to
But
go
this-
there.
Hold on. If I can't do Cruel Summer because it's 3 months ahead of summer, you're going to go to a different country?
I really want to go
Well-
to the O2 in London. Yeah. But I said we. I'm not going to be there. We're all
What,
going to
so
be there.
the NFL is taking the whole Super Bowl to London.
They have
Sure,
done
I don't make the
football.
rules.
They've
Yeah.
They've done football there
they
before.
They do play football games there. You're right. They do.
So it's not crazy.
It's kind of like
Okay.
it's like the NFL Super Bowl mixed in with a little bit of Olympics action.
Yeah. Okay. So the teams that are playing Twin Flames, that's the blue team, versus Traffic Lights, that's the red team. I also want to point out I'm wearing my red ring right now because I'm a big fan of Red Taylor's version, but also I'm going for the red team, mostly because Harry Styles is the quarterback for this team.
Wow.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
This is very much like your concert.
By the way, John Mayer is the quarterback for the blue team. Maybe the Twin Flames painted him blue too, or maybe it's just all the face paint. I don't know. Sports people are insane, which is really ironic thing to say considering I am, in fact, an insane Swiftie. So right at halftime, whenever they have to take a break because Taylor Swift's coming on, the score is 13-13.
Whoa.
Sorry.
And that's when Taylor takes the stage and delivers the most epic Super Bowl show ever. She kicks it off with Olivia Rodrigo singing It's Brutal Out Here, mashed up with Are You Ready For It? Because it's brutal out here. I mean, they're fighting it out, life or death, if
Yes.
you will. Yeah.
I love that.
So I thought that'd be
That'd be
beautiful.
good.
Mhm. And then she has, because I wanted like supporting people there with her, but then she doesn't need a bunch of people there. So these are just dancers that are there supporting her. Blake Lively, Selena Gomez, J-Lo, Laverne Cox, Macy Peters, Macy Williams, and Sophie Turner. All dancers and backing her up, keeping the girl power rhythm going.
Uh-huh.
That's when Taylor starts to play I Knew You Were Trouble with the Wildest Dreams Heartbeat because Taylor owns that and she owns this halftime show.
That'd be awesome.
Then blank space.
Hmm.
When she hits that long note, don't say I didn't warn you. The famous backup dancers get in formation and kick a field goal to make a touchdown.
Get info.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's right speak, but whatever. So now the emotions are super high. Adrenaline's pumping. That's when you hit them in the gut. All too well, 10-minute version, Taylor's version from the vault.
I knew it.
Because nothing makes me rage harder than thinking about that smelly snake that broke her heart. No. Gets me pumped for murder in sports. So now everybody's just super pumped about this. Raging out, ready to get back out on the field. And that's when she does her final song, which is a mashup of I Bet You Think About Me and Me Hee Hee. And Brandon Urie joins her on stage. As they close it out, there's confetti. Maybe even some Gatorade rain pouring down because sports. Crowd's going wild. This is the performance of a lifetime because obviously she is the most talented person ever. Well, then we're back to the game. Traffic Lights literally maim the other team with a score of 1989-13.
Wow.
Harry Styles is the hero, and he's thrust up on his teammates' shoulders. Everyone's congratulating him, and he earns a Taylor Swift Super Bowl ring, which is huge because it has every song that she's ever written by herself on it. Also, maybe we should add that ring to our merch store.
That should be a real thing.
Yeah, just a gigantic ring.
It'd have to be one of those rings that like connects, but like all of your fingers. You know?
Yes.
Like
And it's
brass
big-
knuckles.
Yeah.
It's bigger than any ring Harry ever bought her. You know?
Yeah.
Then at the end of the game, while everyone is celebrating the traffic lights' big win, Taylor takes the stage again and she sings "You Belong With Me." But for a very specific reason, she announces her world tour.
Oh, that would be epic.
And guess who's going on tour with her?
Me.
Yes, it's 13 a Taylor Swift fan podcast. We are joining her on the road and living it up lobster lifestyle with our girl. So that would be, I would watch that. I would actually, I don't watch sports. I did watch this halftime show. I'll watch all the halftime shows, but that's my fantasy.
That's amazing.
Nice. You didn't touch on the commercials, though.
Yeah. I was busy editing between the halftime show. So no, I didn't bother.
How great would it be if we, the Taylor Swift fan podcast, did a live podcast to open for Taylor?
I was
like
just
we were
thinking
on
that.
stage.
I
She
would
has
vomit.
this enormous stage. We bring out a tiny table, and we're all just sitting around.
Oh
We're
my
like,
gosh.
so what's Taylor talking about
This song.
in this song?
So this is the Archer.
Well, so artists can lip sync.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that Taylor does, but then why couldn't we do the same thing and have like best of kind of rolling in the background? And then
Sure.
just, we do it on TikTok all the time. We
Yeah,
act
right.
like we're saying something. And then we
Totally.
just and have Taylor videos in the background. I'm
Hey.
just saying we could do it, y'all.
Hey, I love it.
I think we could go on tour. I think that would be really cool. I think that'd be great.
I do have some ideas for featured artists. I didn't put a ton in mind, but just some that could potentially show up that are just friends of hers. Obviously, you got Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Lacey said Olivia Rodrigo. Halsey.
Ooh, yes.
I think Lacey said Selena Gomez. Someone said Selena Gomez.
Yes.
And the Jonas Brothers.
Yes.
If they did something. It's still Taylor's show.
Sure.
But they popped up for 45 seconds and sang a verse or something.
Yes. Taylor Swift and the Jonas Brothers should have said no. Performance together.
Like, what are some of the new Jonas Brothers songs that Taylor could sing with them? Because the Joe Bros would come up, sing a little bit of whatever, I Knew You Were Trouble, and then Taylor would join them
What if they
for
did-
a verse and a chorus of one of their
What
songs.
if they did like a mashup of Bad Blood and Burnin' Up?
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Wow.
That would be awesome.
They teased us with that collaboration, and I don't know if
Nothing.
you're ever going to get over it.
Yeah. Well, I'm still hopeful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
we
right.
like since we've been teased with all that, like we still haven't gotten
Right.
any new re-recorded album as of today when we record this today at 12:20 p.m. Central Time. But you never know what could happen at 12:22. I'm always on edge.
Well, that's it for this special edition of 13 a Taylor Swift fan podcast.
Fantasy podcast.
Fantasy podcast. So hit us up. Tell us, what would your dream Taylor Swift Super Bowl performance look like? We want to know. All the ways to contact us are in the description of this podcast. And join us next week. We have a fun week. We're going to be breaking down Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, and we are going to be breaking down a theory that Swifties have been fantasizing about, picking apart, thinking about for years. We're going to break down karma. What is it? Does it really exist? We're going to talk about it next week.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.